traditions. It is amazing how throughout the years the culture has evolved, and today we see most kayaks are involved. From the building of a tomb to the gathering from a room, you hear the sweet sound of the drums and the songs that go on. Anancio, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba. Yes, they came from far as captives, Africans. The toil and the struggle hard to pass the culture on, and it fell within the grasp of feeble hands. Sugar Adams and Hensky, Puffela and Prince Lawrence, see them again, Free and Lucian, these names have to live on. Anancio, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba. Traditions. It is amazing how throughout the years the culture has evolved, and today we see most kayaks are involved. From the building of a tomb to the gathering from a room, you hear the sweet sound of the drums and the songs that go on. Anancio, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba. Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba. Our ancestors are the ones who ride the waves and brave the storm. Yes, they came from far as captives, Africans. Hard to pass the culture on, and it fell within the grasp of feeble hands. Sugar Adams and Hensky, Puffela and Prince Lawrence, see them again, Free and Lucian, these names have to live on. Anancio, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba, Anancio, sorry Baba. It is a thrill to see the skills of the dancers as they perform, when they dance to the beat of chromantic songs. The frills, the glad, the glamour, and the move that they portray spark an undivided interest all the way. With new dancers like Jella, LV and Patricia, as soon as they enter in the ring, the whole crowd just start to sing and take a show. Aye, taule, taule. Aye, and take a show. Aye, taule, taule. from me chance to get in the center. The bass drum start to beat, and then the cut jump slam a note. This time a woman gone in the ring, and she start to do she thing. Tell me ho, is this a one I never see? Tell me ho, I tell me ho. Tell me ho, is this a one I never see? Tell me ho, I tell me ho. Oh Lord, the action getting real hot. You know the people they want to stop. I see a woman pushing her way through the crowd. Suddenly her voice started getting loud. The bassman saw the move. He hit a note and she got in groove. You should see that woman there in the ring. Oh, she start to do she thing. Hausa Willie, Hausa Willie, Hausa Willie, Hausa Willie, Hausa Willie, Hausa Willie. I jump up. Do you think? Ah, yo, Viola, Viola, yo, Viola. Ah, yo, Viola, Viola, yo, Viola. Ah, yo, Viola. I went to a social party one day. The big jump group was done to play. You see me standing there in a corner, waiting for me chance to get in the center. The bass drum start to beat, and then the cut jump slam a note. This time a woman gone in the ring, and she start to do she thing. Tell me ho, is this a one I never see? Tell me ho, I tell me ho. Tell me ho, is this a one I never see? Tell me ho, I tell me ho. Oh Lord, the action getting real hot. You know the people they want to stop. I see a woman pushing her way through the crowd. Suddenly her voice started getting loud. The bassman saw the move. He hit a note and she got in groove. You should see that woman there in the ring. Oh, she start to do she thing. Hausa Willie, Hausa Willie, Hausa Willie, Hausa Willie, Hausa Willie, Hausa Willie. I jump up. Do you think? Ah, yo, Viola, Viola, yo, Viola. Ah, yo, Viola, Viola, yo, Viola. Ah, yo, Viola. Good Lord, it's time now that I should leave. This whole experience had me intrigued. I can't believe the act that I come to see. This little island have a rich history. Sugar Adams once ruled the show. You got and Django follow. Right now it's Flurry, Jack and Loxin. Oh, these men rule the ring. Tell me ho, tell me ho. I said someone I never see. Tell me ho, I tell me ho. Do you think I jump? Tell me ho, tell me ho. I said someone I never see. Tell me ho, I tell me ho. Ah, yo, Viola, Viola, yo, Viola. Ah, yo, Viola, Viola, yo, Viola. Ah, yo, Viola. Hele madame, hele Grenada, may God bless you. Grenada, may God bless you. The gem of the Caribbean, struck by a wicked Ivan. The spices blew in the wind and the people all started to scream. The force of the hurricane has wrought havoc and caused great pain, but we are proud to say that we are on the rise again. Because our people are strong, it didn't take us too long to start to rebuild our land. The spice leaves, the spice leaves, the spice leaves, the spice. Yes, we're building better than before, and to your tourists we offering more. Oh yes, the spice leaves, the spice leaves, the spice leaves.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now just 17 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada.
Rising with pride, and we know you'll be satisfied.
And we say good night to all the listeners, Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique.
We'll never regret for sure. The spice leaves.
And all of you joining us regionally and internationally.
The spice leaves. The spice. Yes.
It is our final program for this week, yeah?
For the future. Oh yes. The spice leaves. Yes, a building.
And you all realize bit by bit we getting it better, yeah? Bit by bit we getting it better, yeah?
Oh yes.
You might be surprised Studio 2 might end up being better than Studio 1.
Struck by a hurricane Ivan, the spices blew in the wind and the people all started to scream. The force of the hurricane.
And the 53rd Intercol games have now been completed, yeah?
Say that we are on the rise again. Because our people are strong, it didn't take us too long to start to rebuild our land. The spice leaves, the spice leaves, the spice leaves, the spice. Yes, we're building stronger and stronger. It all goes well for the future. Oh yes.
Yeah, I know some people are very happy tonight.
Yes,
some people are very sad tonight. And I don't really think you necessarily need to be sad. In my view, I've been following the Intercol games over the past few days. I haven't been watching everything, but I've been paying attention. And I think that as Grenadians, we all need to be very proud of our young people and their performances on the field today, yesterday, and day before. I think we have a lot to be proud of. Our Grenadian young people stepped out and stepped up. Our students, and there is no school that went to the Intercol games and should be ashamed of their performance at the games. I think every school had a good showing at the games. Yes, some schools got less points than others, but let's just face it, and I think a lot of people miss this part of it when it comes to the Intercol games. And just saying good night to all of you on the YouTube, all of you on the Facebook here. I know they find I'm saying good night to them. Good night to all of you on the Facebook. Good night to all of you on the YouTube. Yeah? I just want to say, when it comes to the Intercol games, there's a calculation you should always keep in mind. The Grenada Boys Secondary School always has more boys than all the other schools. In fact, the Grenada Boys Secondary School has more boys going to school there than some schools combined. The next school that may have as much boys going there, I believe might be the Presentation Brothers College. And after them, probably the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School. So by virtue of the number of boys they have, it's always going to be difficult to defeat the Grenada Boys Secondary School at an Intercol games. Because while another school might have 300, 400, the Grenada Boys Secondary School has 800, 900, sometimes as much as 1,000 plus. So when there is an event and GBSS send 4 boys to go and throw javelin, or 4 boys to go into the 5,000 meter, whatever it is. When they send 4 boys and 2 of the boys at least complete and bring points, are you beating them? You have to be strategic in the way that you beat them. So there's nothing to be ashamed of if your school did not get points to the level of the Grenada Boys Secondary School. Let's just have that and understand that first of all.
Let's go. Yes, you left you on.
Yeah, it's been one of those days, so the voice is behaving rudely today.
This such a good sight. You waited and waited for so long for this.
So again, congratulations to the winners, well deserved. The Grenada Boys Secondary School, always very strategic, and they ensured that they had their sports early, so they had more time to train with their boys, and so, which is a model maybe some of the other schools need to look at as well. The St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School, you have absolutely nothing to be sad about. Yes, you may not have taken the first prize, but you know what? Next year, I know all you. I know SAS. SAS coming out serious next year. Because remember, the GBSS is now on 21 wins, and the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary is now on 21 wins. So both of them want to break that tie now. So it's going to be very interesting to see what is coming out from the Intercol games next year, especially with the boys. And we want to congratulate the St. David's Catholic Secondary School, the girls, once again, being triumphant in the female division. So we want to congratulate them, but also want to congratulate all the other schools, the Anglican High School, Boca Secondary, Hillsborough Secondary, and Bishop's College. And if you ask me, one of the main stories for me out of the 2025 Intercol games have been the Bishop's College and the Hillsborough Secondary, and I'll tell you why. The Carriacou schools, imagine what they went through less than a year ago. Imagine what these students who came down here to Grenada, who braved that water, and believe me, I don't like the water, but who came down to Grenada and competed and are bringing back up medals to Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Just remember what they went through just about 9 months ago, 9 going on 10 months ago. Remember what these young people went through. And to be able to persevere above that right now, to be able to do the training that they have done, and to be able to come and compete at the level that they are competing right now at the Intercol Games, I think they deserve special mention. The Carriacou schools deserve special mention. Yeah? Nice. Yes, indeed, folks. And remember, the phone lines are open. You can call on 440-7377. The phone line is open, but you must call on the WhatsApp. Yeah, so only the WhatsApp number is available. So you can call us on 440-7377. For those of you that may be entering the number and then you're not seeing it on WhatsApp, what you need to do is do like if you're calling from overseas. So you put in a +sign 1473, then the 440-7377, and that would give you the opportunity to be able to call via WhatsApp, because the WhatsApp sometimes does not recognize just the 440-7377. So when you put it as 1473, 440-7377, if you're still not seeing it, put a +sign in front of all of it, and you're going to be able to call us via the WhatsApp. So the phone line is open. The phone line is open. You can call at any point in time. But you know what? I think I need to play something for the GBSS. I can't play it for the other schools, St. David's Catholic Secondary, because I don't have your school songs. But, let's go to the phone line, because I believe I have a caller on the phone line. Yeah, I need to stop this over on this end. And yes, we have a caller on the phone line. Caller, go right ahead, you're live.
Yeah, I want to say congratulations to the GBSS school for winning the boys Intercol, and also the St. David Secondary School for winning call, and all the schools that partake in the Intercol. Congratulations to everyone. Intercol win, all right? It can be everybody can be a winner. Winners in different fields, but they want champion. So all what you do, when the school made mistake, they're gonna look at the mistake, and next year I know the school will become stronger and stronger. And Brother Sheldon, I want to say to the farmers of Maribo, you continue to speak out about the injustice that is done to you all. And this government, they are saying, eat what you grow. When the farmers planting things, if the crops, to sell it to make a living and to get some money for the children, for the education. the government cut off water. Look at what is happening to the crop in Baribo. So many things dried, spoiling. I wonder if these people have a heart. How could someone call themselves a human being and treating human being in that way? Brother Sheldon, this is wickedness to the high places. And in the time we have to call out the people are going to compete thematic. Even those supporting the NDC. If you really love NDC, you have to call them out, speak to them, encourage the government, stop doing what they're doing. Because we are all Grenadians and everybody need life to improve. Because when the farmer produce anything, they don't send to one group of people. Everybody will be buying from them. So Brother Sheldon, have a good night.
All right, thank you so very much, Kola. Yes, indeed, folks. And you see, the thing is this, some people are raising an issue with me, but let me play GBSS song for them first. I don't have the rest of schools, so I could only play the GBSS, so let me play the GBSS song. And this goes out not just to the Grenada Boys Secondary School, but to all of the schools. I believe the message is a message for all young people.
Champion, each one can but do his best. The winner's display depends on the efforts of all the rest. To be in the van is not all, for each has to play his role. The team wins the match at football. The one man must be Let this be a golden rule, and
And at the same time, let me encourage all the other schools. I've been doing this a few years now. Let me encourage all of the other schools to please go and record your school song and make it publicly available. Yeah, all of you. Wesley College, Westmoreland, Grenada Christian Academy, St. Rose, all of you. McDonald College, all of you. Go and record your school song. And I'm sure that there are people who are involved in music that went to your school that might be willing to assist. Record your school song. Yeah, don't leave it to a situation that GBSS alone are the school song. The thing is that all you must have all the school song recorded too. I know SAS have a Intercol song up in Telescope. I know they have the song for that. But your school song needs to be recorded as well. And again, we want to congratulate not only the Grenada Boys Secondary School, we want to congratulate all of the young people. Those young people could have gone into some negative activity today. They could have left home, and when you think that they are going to the Grenada National Stadium, they could have found themselves on Granans Beach, or BBC Beach, or Quarantine Point. They could have found themselves up in Bathway. They could have found themselves anywhere else, but they made sure that they went to the Grenada National Stadium and they put it all out on the playing field and the track, the jump pits. They put it all out there, and we need to respect that, which is why it is so upsetting. I get the praise first. It's so upsetting to see the behavior of some of, I don't even want to classify some people as adults, because the behavior is not adult behavior. Yeah? There's no problem with back in your school and train talk for the other school. I don't have a problem with that. Don't get me wrong. So when somebody say they're bleeding blue and they start to talk for GBSS boys and that kind of thing, no problem with that. But you see, when it comes to trying to physically harm a student, and yes, we know it's a plastic bottle, but if it was a glass one you had, you would do the same thing. Whoever do that, I'm sure the cameras pick them up. They need to be dealt with. They probably have some anger issues that need to be addressed. To be pelting a bottle behind a student and that sort of nonsense. Yeah? When you go there, you should be encouraging all of them. Because I'll tell you this. Years ago, that could have been Karani, you know. That could have been Karani James that was running there, and you pelt something behind him. And you may have, by doing that, discouraged him from continuing in sport and doing what he has been able to do and achieving what he has been able to achieve, not just for Grenada, but for the entire region. Because he's a world champion. And when I say that, not just a world champion as in the medal, but people all over the world see him as a champion, see his humility, his humbleness, and that mixed with his ability, his strength of character. People see that and they respect that. Karani's a GBSS boy. The same way as the student that they threw thing behind today was a GBSS boy. So in the same way that you would not like to have been the one that threw something at Karani, the same way you don't want to have been the one to throw something at one of the students that were there today. Any one of them, not just the students whose name you keep hearing calling, any one of them. Because there are students who go there today and they may have lost, they may have come in third or fourth or fifth or whatever in a race, and next year they might come and break the record. It's a human being. They have the ability to do it. No matter which school they go to, they have the ability to do it. They might very well go and they might hear they say, okay, I lose this year, I'll go in and train. And they might come and break the record next year. And outside of breaking the record, they might make the Carifta team and break the Carifta record. And next thing you know, they're heading to the World Championships and they're heading to Pan Am Games and they're heading to Commonwealth Games and they're heading to Olympic Games and all that sort of thing. So remember, first and foremost, they're children. Yeah, they're my children, they're your children, they're some of you grandchildren, they are brothers or sisters or nieces or nephews. Remember that. Each time you look at one of them and you're tempted to say something negative, remember, it is a young person. And what you say, I listened to the interview with the young guy with the no comment issue, and I think the main thing has been blown way out, but I listened to him. He didn't want to speak because of how you, the adults, the same adults, behaved when another athlete did an interview and maybe he was not fluent in doing the interview. And especially, just remember, sometimes you come out and run a 400 meter, you're winded, you gain pain on your side, and they pull you aside to ask you a question, and you go and you're trying to respond, and that's not an hour after you relax and they come and they try to talk to you. Your body is still, it's still in that mode and you're in pain. So a student answered a question. He was berated for the way that he answered the question and so on. So this student decided, no, me ain't going on that road, no comment. Right? Yeah, I don't have to agree with what was said by any individual in relation to it. But you see, I also realized that as Grenadians, I'm going to say it and some of you all wouldn't like it. As Grenadians, many of us have too much of the pack mentality, the hyena pack mentality, I call it. That anytime they see an angle to attack a person, everybody coming in and is like, let me get my bite in. So everybody jump on the bandwagon and decide that they want to cuss somebody. So people got the opportunity now to cuss that commentator. Yeah, and the commentator is an excellent commentator, class act. When you're looking for classy work, that's who you get. I may not agree with his statement, but all of us make mistakes. But the way that some people were going down on him, it just reminded me of what I have been through before and what I've seen other people go through. That as soon as somebody is found in some sort of fault, that pack hyena mentality comes out and everybody just start to attack. Let me get my bite. Let me get my bite. Let me get my bite. And you know what happened? Nobody recognized that the young man threw a javelin for 50.93 meters because everybody was focusing on being part of the hyena pack and attacking the commentator. So people were not looking at the possibilities with this young man who is already coaching, and thanks to the person that sent that information to me, that who is already coaching with Coach Paul Phillip. And Coach Paul, once you're coaching, listen, people just leave other countries and come to coach with Coach Paul. So this young man is already coaching with Coach Paul. And knowing Coach Paul as I know, he will get that young man past the 60-meter mark, then the 70-meter mark. And once you start to talk in the 80s and 90s, there you're talking world standards and all those kind of things. And this young man has the ability. Don't just let his story be that he said no comment. That's a low-minded way of dealing with the entire thing. Let his story be that 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years from now, this is a young man we will be watching at the Olympic Games representing Grenada if all of us come together to provide him with the guidance. Because you know what I've seen many years? Over the years, many times, I've seen athletes who have done just as well or maybe even better than him who are no longer competing. He didn't break the record as far as I could remember. I think that record is held by Anderson Peters still. But I've seen many young men, many young ladies, excellent athletes fall by the wayside. Why? They didn't receive the support that they should receive. All of us are guilty. All governments are guilty. All sporting clubs are guilty. All agencies, the Olympic Committee, everybody, all of us are guilty. We have to take collective responsibility for what has happened. For the many, many, many young people that could right now have been out there representing our country. But right now, we're there. Some of them guys, they work in construction, pulling a bus door, linemen on the block smoking weed, because the collective responsibility to identify that talent, we were all there in the Intercol games. Yeah, go, come on, yeah, cheering them on. And then as soon as Intercol finish, we finish with them. So right now, where a country like Grenada, who has some excellent 4x4 runners, 400-meter runners, could have had a 4x4 team and so on. We don't have it. And you see, government has its part to play. Government always have their part to play. Yeah, government part is creating the facilities, yeah, assisting the different committees like the Grenada Athletic Association, the Grenada Olympic Committee, the Grenada Boxing Association, the Grenada Swimming Association. The Ministry of Sport has a responsibility to assist these, whether it's to provide coaches for the different disciplines, working along with these associations, because these associations sometimes they don't have the funds to really pay and keep a coach in the way that they could keep them. But maybe you could keep them through the Ministry of Sport and provide them to the association to assist, and to the schools, the primary schools, the secondary schools to assist, the sporting clubs to assist, to provide the facilities. So you see all of them went and they spread out nice and thing in Emlyn Pierre Stadium today. Yes, Emlyn Pierre Stadium. Because when the last NDC government was there, that stadium was an outstanding project from the previous NNP government. They come and they give all kind of rigmarole. It was never built. And it took when we came in. I was in the Ministry of Sports at the time. I knew that basically we nearly give the Chinese ambassador at the time, Madame Wu, we nearly give her office in the ministry, because she was there every day, going over the details with the then permanent secretary, that was Miss Vida Victor Bruno, and going over those details with the Honorable Emlyn Pierre, who had just come in as the Minister of Sports. So you saw 24 months later, you saw that we were able not only to get the Carriacou Games, we had the Grenada Invitationals, where the IMA that all of a sudden have money to spend on all kind of things, allowed to die last year. And while the IMA, in other words, the CBI unit, did not help or try to bail out or provide the funds for those games, you know what happened now? Jamaica has started their own games. Michael Johnson, I believe it is, yeah. They've started their own games. So the chances of the Grenada Invitationals returning, because the company has been closed down, it's been folded and so on. So imagine having a world-class, top-rated facility and you didn't find it necessary to try and retain a games like the Grenada Invitational, which again, gave an opportunity for these youngsters who are coming out of the Intercol games, these youngsters who are coming out of the national champs or on their way to the Carriacou games, which, because it would have been around this time of year, which gives the opportunity to these youngsters to be able to see the stars, to interact with them, to get tips from a Gatlin or a Karani James or Anderson Peters or Veronica, what's her name? To get tips from these people, to gain experience. How do I get into a university in the United States? How do I get a sports scholarship? Because it's not just that you perform good in the Carriacou games and you get a sports scholarships, but you must make sure that you have your tapes, your videotapes from your school sports, from the Intercol games, from you training, from you at national champs. You must make sure that you have your tapes of the different races. You must make sure that you write the SAT exams, and there's another exam whose name eludes me right now. Yeah, you have to go and you have to write those exams. All of these things these young people need to know. Who is telling that to them? Because we basically don't have a Ministry of Sports or Minister of Sports right now as far as this individual here is concerned. We don't. So who is working along with these young people, giving them guidance and direction as to how and what they need to do to be able to get into one of these schools in the United States? Who is, let me just fix this microphone because it's going to be, yeah, let me just get it here. Yeah, I need to move it because it is, yeah, I need to move the microphone because what is going to happen there is you all are going to be hearing the scratching. I won't hear it, but I know it's happening. So let me just fix it. Yeah, I'll change the mic onto this side. I'll wear some shirts instead, man. Come on, microphone. Yeah, I'll wear some shirts instead. You fit up here? Nice. Yeah, I think he was, yeah, you gotta stay so. Right. But who is working with these young people to inform them of these things? Who is speaking to these students to say, you need to maintain a certain academic level, because it can't be just that you could run real fast. You must maintain a specific academic level so that when you send your academic scores to a university, along with your review tapes, and your SAT scores and the other exam, whatever they call it, scores, when you send those, you have a better chance of gaining a scholarship. And to understand what a sports scholarship entails. Because there are many people out there that believe that the governments give, when you have a full sports scholarship to a university, that the governments here are the ones. No, the university, according to the level, would provide certain things to you under the sports scholarship, like tuition, etc., etc. They provide those things, but you still have to have some sort of assistance either from the government or some entity or your parents, whatever it is, have to support you as well. Who is explaining that to these young people? You see, there has to be a plan and a strategy of how we get from Ethan Sam, or what's the other one name? His name is slipping me. The Platea one from GBSS there, or one of those boys from SAS and so on. How do you get from there to a Anderson Peters? How do you get from there to a Kurt Felix? How do you get from there to a Lyndon Victor? How do you get from there to a Karani James? Who is guiding them so that even now they understand, I need to focus on my books, I need to be in this percentile range in relation to my scores on my subjects, because it is all part of a broader strategy and plan. Yes, I may want to become a physicist, I want to go and study physics at a higher level and do Christology and all these kind of things. But I need to ensure that along with my performance on the track, my performance in the books is up to par. Who is working along with them to do that? Yeah? The Grenada Athletics Association has their part they have to play, and getting them to the different meets and different things like that, and maybe even getting some of the universities or the colleges in the US to send down people here to look at the games, or at least provide the link to them so that they can look at it and say, I think I want that one as part of my 4x1 team, or I want that one as part of my 4x4 team, or I think this one is good in the long jump, I really think I need them. Yeah? Who is coordinating with those coaches? So the Grenada Athletics Association has its part that it has to play. The Grenada Olympic Committee has a very important part that it has to play, along with all the associations that fall under the Olympic Committee. And then the Ministry of Sports has a major part to play. So the people in Cloget should not be speaking now about having a playing field that ain't get cut in how much months, that turn into high woods. The people in Cloget should not be talking about that, because the Ministry of Sports is supposed to be on that. Remember, cricket is now our Olympic sport, and the next thing Grenada decided, we said in a cricket team. Yeah, Junior Murray is the manager. Next thing we decided, we said in a cricket team, overall. One of them, we send in one of them. Or Fletcher. But Fletcher might be part of the team. So next thing Grenada decides, we're sending a cricket team to the Olympic Games. You understand? So it's important to maintain the facilities, and it's not just about going and put up the lights. I look at the Limes playing field, I pass the Limes playing field nearly every day. And when you look on the Limes playing field, you realize it's uneven. I know that when Senator the Honorable Norland Cox was working in the South, outside of getting the lights organized for the Limes playing field, the other aspect of it was to dig up the entire playing field, level it off, and provide a proper turf on it. But if you're walking through the Limes playing field, if I am playing football, I am playing on the Limes playing field. You know why? Chicken bone, glass shards, pieces of wood, pieces of metal, crown cork, all sorts of things. You make a slide there, you're going to get damaged. And that's a fact. Why? Because while you have somebody doing an excellent job with cutting the field, their job is not leveling it off and making sure that all of these stuff are removed. That comes from the ministry. And again, we no longer have a Ministry of Sports. We have a ministry in name only. There is no leadership in that ministry. So they would not understand all the things that I'm saying to you now and the necessity to do it. And the model that the NDC administration is trying to work with is create the sporting councils, the individual parish sport councils, and then have the National Sports Council and get them to deal with all these things and so on. But in the interim, what is taking place with these playing fields? Closure ain't get cut in how long? I just told you the situation with the limes, and there are many other playing fields going through similar things right now. Why? Because we do not have a minister or ministry of sports. They are a waste of time. But all of them line up tonight to go and hand out medals and so on. I see some people asking about that. Friends, there is nothing wrong with various government ministers and MPs going to hand out medals. I was a senator and I did it for a couple Intercol games, maybe about 3 or 4 Intercol games. In fact, one Intercol game, I wonder if I was still even in the Senate. No, only when I was in the Senate, yeah, only when I was in the Senate, I went and I gave out medals and so on. Although I give out medals different to them. These people just go in and put medal over them children's hand, I used to talk to them. Ask any of the young people back in the days when then Senator Scott used to be putting a medal around their neck. I used to make sure and give them a word or talk with them, say something to them. Don't just put a medal around their neck because I'm posing for a photo. I don't care about the photo, I care about the young person. I'm putting the medal around their neck. So I'm saying something to them, or I'm asking them something. I ain't just throw a medal around their neck and then I turn and grin for a photo. I ain't in that. I believe that the individual who I'm handing that medal to is more important. Yeah, they have worked hard to get to that stage, and you have to give them a word of encouragement so that they would continue. But again, for these individuals that we have in office now, it's only about the glam, the face paint. It is not about the reality and what is under there. So nothing wrong with the different senators going on. They're in government, it's government. So nothing is wrong with them doing that. If they wanted, if the organizers decided there are members on the opposition side that they could have invited, and I didn't see the entire game, so I don't know if any members of the opposition were afforded the opportunity. So I don't want to say that they were not. Maybe one of you that may have seen could tell me that. I can't say that I did not, that I saw, I didn't see. Yeah, so I can't say. But what I could definitely tell you all is that that is a normal thing for the ministers to go there and deliver the, my good friend, for the ministers to go and deliver the medals and that sort of thing. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just making it, I could have come here and say, oh, what do they think they're doing? And they this and that. I could have come here and try that. No, I'm telling you the reality. Nothing is wrong with them doing it. I just had a problem with how they're doing it. Yeah? And I believe that they could have also extended it because, for instance, the MP within whose zone the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School falls, who is also a past student of the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School, happens to be the opposition leader. What was wrong with approaching the opposition leader, a principal association, former Minister of Education, the Honorable Emlyn Pear, to at least for one medal presentation? Yes, we know you had the government ministers, but you also had the sponsors who had to go and hand out some medals as well. But you could have listened, you didn't want to put Quince there. Quince ain't even winning a seat anyhow. This Quince last time in the Senate, because NDC would be out of office, they're going to have 3 spaces in the Senate and they ain't going to be giving one of them to Quince. He ain't winning a seat, he wasting time in a ministry. So you could have given the leader of His Majesty's opposition who built the stadium the facility was taking place in. You could have given her the opportunity in Emlyn Pear Stadium to put some medal around some children's neck as well. But you see, these people tend to try to keep things as one-sided as possible, I realize. And I'm not saying that about the principal association, but many individuals tend to do that. But I did not see, so I can't say that she didn't get the opportunity or no member of the opposition team got the opportunity. I didn't see. But I'm saying it would have been a good idea to have her do that. Yeah? Anyway, folks, remember the phone lines are open 440-7377. And I think I'm saying that I think I have a phone call on the line. So let me just get that call. Ah, boy, I missed it. All right, call back. Yeah, call back. I wasn't looking at that side. So I'll have to move this a little more so. over the weekend, I'll shift it a little more so I could get them. In fact, let me try calling back to call the person and see if I get them. Yeah. So I'm saying all of this to say that there needs to be a plan and a strategy. Yes, it's all well and good to go and back our school and back the children, but there has to be a plan and a strategy of how we're going to take them from that point to the world stage. We have a caller online. Hello, good night. Hello? Oh, sorry, caller. My mistake. Let me just clear one thing here. Stay on the line. Stay on the line. All right, yeah. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Yes, good evening to you, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
All right,
Good.
man.
I'm doing wonderful. Yeah.
Lovely. You go right
But
ahead.
I'm enjoying the talk. But you know something? Them men and them ain't gonna spare one opportunity, my brother, because they are hurrying up right now. You know, they have the campaign thing going on.
Well, they had the meeting,
So they want
they had the meeting yesterday. You know election is soon, eh?
Right, of
Okay.
course.
Just tell me.
And they want to use every opportunity to showcase themselves. But that could be that should have been a good retrospect time for them to think about one thing that the NNP administration did, and that is the stadium, and that is athletic stadium especially, you know, because that's where our ambassadors, sporting ambassadors, got the flight from, right there. So who knows? Maybe they would have reconsidered the challenge that we didn't do anything. You know, but
and caller, you know, while you're talking, I'm going to put up a video of Emlyn Pierre and Keith Mitchell Stadium for them. Yeah, I'll put up a short piece of video of it. Go right ahead, though.
Yeah, put it up. But something I want them to know is that they are losing so much ground. Yeah, they are losing. So when I say they, I'm talking about the NDC administration, because what they could have or should have done in the first place was to ensure that the entire population of Grenada that they could reach out to, that had needs and had some challenges and so on, that they could have reached out to them, and that could have been a good measurement for them. But what they did is that they add insult to injury the statement that our prime minister and political leader made at Bouchejoux. Now listen, ain't no coming back to surviving that one, because he said it, and there are persons who are trying to defend it, and here we're not attacking any personality here, we're dealing with the issues, right? Mm-hmm. Because he said, the political leader and prime minister said, the only reason why the other side or they get in is because you are not telling your MPs or your candidates who are who, who is who. So at the backdrop, brother, and people, you need to pay attention to these things. And not only that, all the taxpayers' monies that you are using, and even the CRIF money that you are using here on the mainland to build houses for your surrogates and your supporters. Let me tell you something that they are saying that you all ain't ready yet to govern. So I'm taking the house, I'm taking what you're giving me, but I'm not going to vote you back. So I want you to think about those things. Think about that. And there's some shockwaves going on right now that you are not coming back to administrate in this country any longer, anymore. Next election, you're gone because you are so disrespectful. Some of you leaders, all of them, disrespectful. Just consider the Right Honorable Dr. Mitchell and all that he has done together with the NNP team. Well, especially Dr. Mitchell, in advancing Grenadians' life and rebuilding Grenada after the Hurricane Ivan and Emily and so on, and the reproach and the disrespect that you have received, Dr. Mitchell, from these people. Listen, there is no ill that will go unheeded. All the ills that you've done, all the wickedness, all the planning of lies and all of that you have done, they're going to come right back at you. And I always say that to you, right? And I say you because I'm talking about the administration. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the administration. right from the leader go right down to the senators. Liars and disrespectful, and you're gonna pay for that. Finally, the issue about the rebuilding in Carriacou and Pidimatnik. I spoke about that, I think it was last night or sometime.
Mhm.
And I want you all to just look back at the pleasurous lives that you are living and the sumptuous life and living that you are conducting right now on the mainland. And these people are still under the stone tent, right? And I think by now you might be hurrying up to see how much you could build quickly, right? And listen, the Build Back Better, the 500 houses apparently that kick out, because they're offering everybody a house now.
Mhm.
Yeah, everybody down on this mainland who they think want a house, gain a house now,
Well, remember again, as I've said, this government has to go into elections now. They do not,
Right.
they can extend it by a couple months by trying to stave off the inflation by deciding that they're not going to take taxes, or they're going to halve taxes, or they're going to lower the tax rate. Maybe they could lower VAT on certain things from 15% down to 5%. But it's going to affect their income and their ability to do projects, their ability even to pay workers. It's going to affect their ability. They are not going to go to an election after that has happened. They're going to go to an election before that happens. So they're going to artificially, for the Grenadian economy, stave off the inflation for a period of time. They don't have to do it yet because it hasn't started coming yet. So they're gauging right now that in 3 months or in 5 or 6 months, the pressures due to the China-US trade war are going to start to affect prices here in Grenada. Apple, do you know Apple, the company that creates the iPhone and iPad and iMac and all these things?
iPad and so on. Yes.
From one of the stories that I've seen, and I believe it's from a verified source, they had about 5 flights leaving China, just stacked to the brim with phones and so on to bring over to the US before this thing gets in place and they have to start charging the normal price for it. You have the same thing.
Right.
Amazon has stopped taking things out of China because if you order stuff and it has to come from China to go to the US now, the cost by the time it arrives in the US, remember these things are coming by ship, may have gone up significantly. You're going to end up with a loss. So they have they've stopped that. In the Grenada context, where a lot of the stuff that we get are coming through North America, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be 2 months. But this administration knows that before the end of this year, definitely they have to call a general election, which is important that we do our work. But go ahead.
We have to do our work. Yes. Let me ask you, have our government made any mention of this thing, of the current situation with the President Trump and the tariff thing? Have they ever made a statement, the Minister of Finance, ever?
I haven't heard them speak extensively on it. I've heard very broad statements in relation to various aspects of it, but they are very well aware of the same thing that me and you are aware of, and what can happen to what will happen to the economies of countries in the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, like Grenada and St. Kitts and so on. And then, remember, while this is happening and the cost of items coming, including pharmaceuticals, remember I played President Trump last night for you all on pharmaceuticals. Outside of that, right, you have another problem that's brewing there. 12% of the 2025 budget for Grenada is based on CBI, and you realize CBI is under serious attack.
Under serious attack, yes. Well, maybe they have enough money stored because they said they had enough money to finance the budget,
Well,
So I don't know. They're not honest with us.
Man, don't study them, man. They're joking. I don't. They were planning to use the CBI money for a lot of things, and now they have to start. Listen, the budget that they put out basically just a couple of weeks ago, that budget means nothing right now.
Right, based on what they said.
That budget means absolutely nothing right now. And
Yes.
the problem that Grenada has, it's a problem that some other countries may not have, but that Grenada has, is that you have an incompetent group of individuals who are in charge, backed up by further incompetence, because at the second level and the third level, it's more incompetent people. So they have no grouping there that is intellectually minded and has the depth to be able to deal with the issues that Grenada is facing. They don't. They speak a nice game, but you're speaking about food production and you have the farmers in Maribo without water. Up to today, the farmers in Maribo without water. But you're speaking food production. A cabinet minister is involved in a poultry farm project.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
no way that
I saw
project,
it.
and no way that project could provide all the chicken that we need in Grenada. No way it could provide
We
all the
need
chicken.
more.
You
We need more. Yes.
you need about 10 of those to provide, because Grenadians, like it or not, eat a lot of chicken. So you need
Yes,
about 10
we
of
do.
those to be able to provide the chicken for Grenada. So they are providing some. But yet still, that little bit that you were saving by not spending outside, you go allow it to fail? Come on, man. We have to be joking.
That they need to come better than that. And finally, before I go, I want to warn them about the continued politics of spite and hate. And according to the Honorable Peter David, tribalism. I wish he could say something on that now. The tribalism continuing, and I wish he can help this nation to understand or define what tribalism really is. And who are the ones that are partaking in tribalism at this time, and hate and despite, and making sure they go all out, that we would lose or we would not win a seat, because they win in 13 seats, they said, or 14. And
They're saying 15. They're saying they're within 15. Like if Queens could win a seat.
Well, right. So because the one in the tongue of St. George is another one that they're gonna win, because they're gonna have that and they will join up together. And one of them is gonna be the leader, But anyways, we're doing the work,
Yes, indeed.
We're working. We're working.
Yes, of course.
All right.
Make sure, my friend.
Take care. Have a good-
All right.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, indeed, folks. And that's the thing, Do the work. NNPites, it's all well and good to talk about what is going on with the NDC and with other organizations and so, but it is also important for us to focus on our business. As it is right now, the electoral registration offices in St. George Northeast are not in operation. I'm hearing similar stories of other areas, but I've not confirmed. But I could confirm that you can, if you go tomorrow to register in St. George Northeast, you cannot do that. And that is a concern to me. We have a caller on the line. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Hey, sheldon, good night.
Hey, what's up, bro?
How you do, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. You go right ahead, man.
Non farmers sini labore. No reward without hard labor.
You know I wasn't a GBSS boy, so you know I wasn't a GBSS
yeah.
boy. Right, good. Right.
I know. But let me tell you, I went to GBSS in the days of galvanized when the Queen's Park was galvanized. So I knew Intercol time.
Mhm.
I was around when the thing collapsed. Sorry about that. But anyway, Sheldon, I want to ask you 2 questions. And I don't know if you can answer me clearly. Before 2022 elections, June 2022, can you tell me who in the NDC government right now was CBI agents?
There were 2 people who are government ministers that were CBI agents, and there is one senior member of the party who also holds a quote-unquote semi-diplomatic appointment that is also and has been and remains a CBI agent. So,
Right. So
Mr. Deacon and Miss Mitchell, he has a CBI company that still exists and is still doing work, although he claims now that he has separated himself from the company that carries his name. According to the Integrity in Public Life Act, what he has done is he has simply placed his shares in a trust. So he's still getting his money. But at the end of his time as Prime Minister, he easily gets all the money that the company been making, and that is his share. He gets it. So it's not like it's not his company and he sell it to somebody else. It still actually carries his name and it is still registered as a CBI company. The email address was his own until I spoke about it on Talking Points year before. And they rush and they take his name off. After we did about 3 programs on it, they run and they take his name off of the list. But it has not changed the fact that the company is still his and it's still making money. And the minister,
what are others?
Well, I'm about to answer you. Hold on now. The Minister of Finance is also still a CBI agent. He can't say that he placed this thing in any trust because that was a one-man operation. He didn't even have a secretary. He was operating it out of his home. That is a one-man operation. And the numbers, the last time I checked the IMA website, the numbers that are there is still the numbers of the individual. So he's the Minister of Finance. He's the one that okays the concessions that the people who are constructing or building and so on under CBI, his hand would have to be the one that signs to give them those concessions, duty-free concessions to bring in stuff and all of that. And he's a CBI agent. If that is not wrong,
and
then tell me why it's not wrong. The other one is Miss Andrea. The other one is Miss Andrea St. Bernard.
Right.
For those of you that like by Cooperative Bank, if you look across, you go see the big ASB. That's her company. That is a CBI company. She is supposed to be traveling on behalf of Grenada, going around and using a diplomatic passport to get business on behalf of Grenada. As it is right now, still waiting to see what business she brings for the going on 2 years that she has been an ambassador representing Grenada. In fact, it would be very interesting to see what all of these ambassadors and chargés and all these people that they sent out in China and all over. It would be very interesting to see what they have done, what they have achieved in the space of time that they have been out. We know that the Minister of Foreign Affairs is already a failure, but the Andrea and the other people, we need to know what they have done, what they have brought for Grenada. We know the Prime Minister gets some cricket bat and thing from Dangote, but we want to know what the others have done.
Right. So, Sheldon, the reason why I bring it up is because the CEO of the IMA went on certain program and he was defending, well, not defending, but trying to explain the issue with the Nigerian lady and such. And to me, he went to an NDC program again. Well, he went to an NDC program to explain himself. Now, somebody of that integrity, not supposed to be on a political party program. That is where I find out.
I disagree, but in the same way that he goes on that program, I think, I don't mind he go on an NDC program, but if he goes on an NDC program and I call him for this program, he can't tell me it's a political program and he's not coming. Whether you're NNP or NDC, he is working for you, the taxpayers of this country.
Yes,
and as such, nothing is wrong with him going on an NDC program. But in the same token, when we call him to come on the NNP program, if he decides he's not coming for whatever reason and say it's due because it's a political program, then we call him out on it. But nothing wrong. Like he could go on the NDC. I can't save them.
Right. Now, I ain't giving them that pass because you see, what has been happening now, the NDC now seems to have the cronies in their back pocket. And that is what I'm seeing. And let me say what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the trend because I heard the MP, the member of parliament and the parliamentary rep for Northeast said that he's still a member in or out of cabinet. When I understand that he was fired from cabinet, he's no longer a minister, Mr. Ron with it, right? So when he making certain statements going on GBN, that is session is going on a Wednesday as PRO. And then before him, there was the general secretary who they fired and so forth. You see, we have to take in play what's happening right now. What these men are doing, they are merging party and government. And they're trying to say, okay, well, they continue what the NNP administration have been doing and so forth and so forth. So now they're saying, well, okay, this empower thing was good. Now they have elevate her and so forth. Sheldon, I, for the life of me, cannot understand why people are getting problem. Keith Mitchell has done his time. He has Dr. Mitchell, Honorable Dr. Mitchell. He has done his time. He gave up leadership. He's still a member of the parliament. He's parliamentary rep for St. George Northwest. My God, leave the man alone. People are coming out and talking about when they play cricket to the man. Kim Mitchell is not running, as far as I know. Election is not yet, but campaign is going on. Honorable Pierre is a leader of the opposition party. She's a leader of His Majesty's opposition. Why are we so obsessed with Dr. Mitchell still?
We?
And if well, now we NDC people, you know, and you listen to them. Eh? No, I'm saying, I'm not listening. I want to hear them because I'm hearing them, and you're hearing like they anger with themselves. Dr. Mitchell is not there. It's Deacon Mitchell. Is that Mitchell still? Honorable Deacon Mitchell. And another thing they keep doing, they keep glorifying another person and they glorify another one. So they glorify Mr. Williams, they glorify Mr. Mitchell. That shows you there is a disconnect in the party. It shows you that clearly. You hear one person say, the most honorable Andy. Then you hear the most honorable Deacon. We in Grenada, we don't acknowledge people as most honorable. How dumb can these people be again?
No, no. Understand something, my friend. That is not something that is taught generally. Now, the most honorable is used in, like Jamaica, they use that for their prime ministers and so. I see some people refer to the prime minister here as the right honorable Deacon Mitchell. That's incorrect. Now, Dr. Mitchell, as far as I can remember, is the only member of the Privy Council active in Grenada right now. He's the only person that's a member of His Majesty's Privy Council. And due to that, that is why he carries the terminology, the prefix to his name, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. Deacon Mitchell is not a member of the Privy nor the Council, so he cannot be the Right Honorable. But you see, these things are not taught.
He will never be long enough in politics.
Well, let me just say this though. Some people, they would hear that you use that for Dr. Mitchell and they find Deacon is in office now, so they're using it to describe him. And some may not even be malicious, you know, they just believe that that is it. There are some that are. But there, for instance, I know that you don't use it in the case of anyone who is not a Privy Councillor. For instance, when the Queen died, the Privy Councillors meet. So Dr. Mitchell could have gone to London and have been part of that meeting. The King does not become the King just like that. You know, the Privy Councillors have to basically affirm it for him to become the King. That's why you have the Privy Councillors for. Yeah, they carry out various roles, and Dr. Mitchell is a Privy Councillor. He could have gone to London and been part of that meeting legally, right? And we don't have other people. I cannot remember any living other person in Grenada who carries that prefix, the Right Honorable. But some people are doing it maliciously because they just find, well, if Dr. Mitchell was one, he had to be one too. And there are others who just don't know. And I won't give them a pass. But go ahead.
No, they feel because when they say it long enough, it will stick in. It would not stick in. Because here's what, as a big of the Queen, a lot of us do not know. Who don't know? Well, I know. If you look at the crown or the crest on the royal crest, it's ER. King Charles is now in charge. He's the king now. He's his royalty. That has to change. I am still seeing the PM and the Governor General vehicle still with ER. And a lot of people don't know that. That had to change.
No, my
How many of us know that? I know that from school.
Hold on, Now you've gotten into a broader discussion there. And the broader discussion, no. So it might sound simple. You're correct. Let me repeat, you're correct. The symbol on the Governor General's vehicle has to change to CR. But you know, up to recently, I'm trying to remember the part of town it was. There was a post box that was located somewhere around town that actually
by Farmer Garden.
Right. I'm not sure if it's that. I'm trying to remember, but there was one that actually didn't even have it didn't even have the ER, you know. It had it had from the king before, and I don't think it's that one. But there was one that had it. Now, what happens is that each time the monarch changes, if the initials change, then of course that monogram on various items changes. So you know it also means that every single badge of the Royal Grenada Police Force has to change.
Has to change. Yes.
No.
And it has not as yet.
No, but listen, yeah, and here's where I'm going with this. So you hear them speaking about changing the name of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
To service.
Right. Now, constitutionally, there's a constitutional name for the Royal Grenada Police Force. Huh? I'll check on it just. I think it's the Grenada Police Service or something like that. So it's either they're going to what the constitutional name is, or they're creating a new name and give it, and then amend the constitution to suit. But the bottom line is this: if I had anything to do with it, every single embellishment, including the patches and so on that they wear, that has the ER for the senior officers from inspector going up, cadet officer going up, the crown that they have on their lapels, some of them have the ER on it as well, all of that would be removed. But the thing is, it will cost money to do all of that, brother.
Right.
Not lastly, stay there, we're running and going, you're busy. Outside of that, there's also a further discussion in relation to our money. Because remember, the money we're using has who face on it? Her Majesty the Queen. So the discussion among the OECS territories are that and I think the bank has said as much, that they are going to remove the monarch's face from our money and replace it with the faces of prominent people within our own people. Yeah, so no longer just the man with the only bald head glasses man that some women like to see, the man on the $100 bill. So outside of him now, we got some other people on the money. Outside of Maurice Bishop and Sir Eric Matthew Gary on the $50, which is just a $50 for the Grenada independence. We know that they would not be printing more of that. But you may be surprised to see that Sir Eric Matthew Gary face end up on another bill, a $20 or whatever bill, and Move's face end up on the other money and so on. But there's a discussion in relation to that as well. So you're correct. The monogram that's on the Governor General's vehicle, all of her official documentation, the Royal Grenada Police Force, the prison service has the ER as well. All of those things have to change, and it's going to cost you a significant sum of money to do those changes, though. Yeah, even the stationery has to change.
I want to ask the NEC supporters, do they know that? Do they think about that? Do they even look at this? But anyhow, let me tell you this.
They don't have the discussions we have now, boy. Their discussions is, Keith Mitchell this, and Keith Mitchell that, and Evelyn Pierre this, and Evelyn Pierre that. That is their discussion. They don't have these kind of discussions.
That stadium, that view, and that production team that did that coverage, with all things being done, that stadium look. If nobody was not looking at this thing from Grenada and the day in Lesotho or the day in Spain, and they're looking at that thing on TV, they will never know it's Grenada. Trust me. And kudos, I give NEC kudos for doing the track, nothing wrong with that. They
had to do the track because
nothing wrong with that.
My friend,
give some kudos for that.
No, I ain't getting them kudos for it because I was part of the stadium committee when we secured the contract to do the track. So they didn't have a choice. They had to do the track. I ain't giving them no kudos on that because I know that was part of what was supposed to be done before. The track, which was rated the highest rate you could get, was damaged. And as such, it had to be replaced.
The election in St. Vincent, the present Prime Minister will be how much? How old will he be again?
I don't know, 100 and something. I don't know how old Ralph is.
and the leader of the so-called movement, how old will he be again?
I have no idea how old these people are, brother.
And the leader of this country here, he is seeking for a second term. He will be older than when Dr. Mitchell was going for the first term. Not so? You see the maths?
He's already older than Dr. Mitchell was when he went.
Have a good night, Sheldon.
Yeah. All right, my friend. All right. 440-737-347-329-3101. And let me show you all something again. And let me see if I can bring this back up. Remember, as Atiba say, mind we business. Yeah, mind we business. And fellas could say what they want and all kind of thing. Mind we business. But in the back here of this, I haven't brought it up. Let me see if I can bring this up. Because I want you all to see something there. Right, I think this is the one that I wanted to show you all. Yeah, I want you all to see something on this. You know, for the people that say that the New National Party did nothing, let us just explain something using just this photo. Just this photo, we're going to use to explain something to them. One, the New National Party built a stadium here that Hurricane Ivan destroyed, and the New National Party came back in and built this stadium again. World class, that you were able to hold world class athletic competitions at. Yeah, the Grenada Invitational and so able to be held right there. We saw people from all parts of the earth, from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, from North America, and so came to Grenada and were able to perform in this facility that Emlyn Pierre repaired and built over, right? Them just come and they do over a track that basically we had everything in place to do it. All they had to do was do the track. At the side here, you have the cricket stadium, yeah? That was able to host World Cup cricket right here in Grenada. 30 years ago, people may have never been thinking that you could have had World Cup cricket in Grenada. 30 years ago, was a sort of galvanized around an area here. But no, we could have World Cup cricket took place right here in Grenada at this facility back in 2007. Yeah? And then in the back here, you see that cruise ship? There is no way on God's earth that you could have had a cruise ship at this size in Grenada at this hour 30 years ago, because you had no cruise terminal, you had no docking facilities. As I showed you all in a video a couple months ago, the cruise ships used to be out. I showed you all the video of the cruise ships out in the water and the ferries bringing in the people down with the loading cement and all kind of thing. And in fact, when they're not loading cement is when a cruise ship, but only the small ones could have docked over on Port St. George, but you had no cruise ship terminal, no cruise ship port. So to the people that say the New National Party did nothing, this photo shows at least three. But this photo also brings into context another question, another issue I want to raise tonight. Several months ago, we had significant rainfall on the islands of Grenada. That significant rainfall caused destruction. It even caused one death in the woodlands area. It caused significant destruction along River Road. There were people that lost their vehicles. People had their homes flooded. It was significant in nature. One of the main contributing factors, outside of God doing the work and a lot of rain come down, one of the main contributing factors has been the non-completion of the River Road project. My God, we're in dry season now. All you're telling me these nincompoop don't know you're supposed to go and finish the River Road project before rainy season come again? We're in April, May, June, we're back in hurricane and rain again. 2 months. They said yes, they had the plans because the bridge, the point that the water started crossing was a point that should have been completed. The work there had to be completed. That's by the Steels Bridge. There's supposed to be a new bridge put in place there that is higher. There's also supposed to be the wall completed so that when the bamboo and everything come up and it's stick by steel bridge and all that stuff come down, it create a dam and the water burst the banks and come into the road, that can't happen. These individuals, they've had December, January, February, March, we are in April, and we're getting close to the middle of April. And you're telling me they have not done any of the work in River Road to ensure that, Papa goodness, if we have that kind of rain, or worse, when the rainy season starts again in June, July, August, going down there, that when the serious rain come again, the people in River Road wouldn't have to be lie down in the bed, sleeping in the night and worrying if the vehicle floated down the St. John's River towards the sea. Or that vehicles don't have to go around and that sort of thing. So there's a fourth project in this picture, and that's up on the end here, the River Road project, that these individuals are not completing. You're not even hearing the MP for the town speaking about that, right? Speaking about all kind of things, but he ain't going to speak about that right now. Because that is urgent and immediate. That the River Road project has to be reactivated now. Or you run the risk of all those damages. I remember it was one twice It happened. Remember, it had a vehicle going, it had a pregnant lady in it, all kind of thing. We don't want to see that happening again. You have to have some respect for the people of River Road, Dabo, surrounding areas, and the people that utilize that area to get to and from wherever they're going. But when your mind only stick on bad talking people and attacking people and who you're going and try to bring a case against and have FIU investigating this one and FIU investigating that one and so on. But while they are doing that and they're minding our business, NNPites mind our business. So when them minding we business and we minding we business too, we business must fix. Because again, there's a concerted effort by united forces to oust our political leader from her seat in St. Andrew Southeast. Will you hear what I say? There's a concerted effort. There are people that are trying their very best. They're busy in Telescope. They're all down in Cafe. They're all over. And you realize, they didn't say, let's go in St. Andrew Northwest. They didn't say, let's go in St. Andrew Southwest. All of them are focused. They're writing the articles. That is the constitutional right to write your articles. But we're exposing that you all are working along with the NDC. And it is a concerted effort to defeat the leader of the new National Party. What they also want to do is create a situation where they try to keep the leader of the NNP within her constituency instead of being able to go around. Because when they have done their polling, what they found out is that the person that they were saying, oh, that is not a good leader, all kind of thing, they realized now that she has national appeal. And that from her years in the Ministry of Youth and the Ministry of Education, she is well known throughout the state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and especially by a lot of first-time voters and second-time, third-time voters. So they have decided that the way to deal with her is to try to tie her to her seat. So you see the NDC going there and the NDC in waiting. That's what it's called the other set of people. The NDC and the NDC in waiting, hitting her constituency hard because they want to make sure they get rid of her. But I told you all what the plan entails. I don't have to go over that tonight. What I would say to you is protect your party, protect your leader, and protect your freedom. Because many of you can't talk right now. I meet you all daily. Or I just want to call the program, but I can't call. Give me your number. I can't call the program. Because if I call, my child wouldn't get this. So if I call the house that they promised me, I wouldn't get it. I support you, but I can't call. And no Grenadian should be in that stage right now. All Grenadians should be able to call whatever program they feel to call. Now, you can't call here and disrespect me. I'll cut you off and I'll go expose your number. Yeah? Somebody learned that the hard way the other day. But at least they should be able to speak freely and respectfully and discuss issues as they see it without having to worry about consequences down the line. That I'm a farmer, you know, but if I call and talk about farming, when they're giving out money again, I wouldn't get. I'm a fisherman, you know. So we're going through real hell, but I need you to speak on my behalf. And you find yourself, no, I have to come and speak on behalf of people. Like the people who work in the road program since last year in St. George Southeast and can't get the money. Notice what I say since last year, you know. They promised them the money for December, they didn't get it. They promised them the money for January, they didn't get it. They tell them budget had to read. Even though the Minister of Finance is on record as saying that they had secured $400 million to finance government's operations up until the point in time after the budget. That was said in January. But they still were telling people budget had to read before they get the money. So December passed, January passed, February passed, March passed, we're in April now. And the same story they give them in December. The same story they give them in January. The same one in February and in March is what they're giving them for April now. We're going to pay all you at the end of the month. That's the same story they're selling these people right now. We're going to give all you at the end of the month. We're going to pay all you at the end of the month. These people have family. They went out, they do the work. Those who work on the road, they do the work, everything, and they deserve their money. The people that are doing the patching are still owed as well. It is unfair to these people to deal with human beings. It is unfair to them what is being done. Yeah, and folks, the phone lines are open, 440-7377. That's 440-7377. But we're not going to just sit here and allow them to get away with exposing it. We're saying it as it is, so everybody has a clearer understanding of what is taking place with this administration. Yeah, and I mentioned something a little while ago, and let me get back to that as well, because mind we business. And folks, we need to mind we business with what is going on when it comes to those electoral offices. Remember, that same electoral office day, that same electoral office and I'm just trying to get something here, that same electoral office in St. George Northeast. Remember in 2011, that is the office the computer went missing from it. Yeah, that's the office, remember, a registration machine with the software that went missing? That's the same constituency it went missing in. Now, we have a situation where people are going to be registered and being told that the system is down and they're not sure when the system will be back up. Pay attention. Pay attention. In your constituency, do you know if the office is up and running, if everything is going okay, if that office is up and operating? Pay attention to what is going on. There are elections throughout the Caribbean where parties in opposition ended up remaining in opposition. You know why? They didn't mind their business. So while they were there attacking the government on this and attacking the government on that and speaking about this and speaking about that, they didn't check the canvas list and check it 3 times and check it 4 times and check it over like if it's Santa Claus before you go and drop out. Toys, they make sure, and they attack the government, but they didn't make sure and check the list. So you know what happened? Election day they get take. Because you know what took place there? Plane loads of people flew in week of the election, days before the election, and those people who were based outside of Grenada, who legally in some of the territories should have been removed from the voting scroll, were not removed because the people were so busy attacking the government and talking about the government that they didn't mind their business. Let me say something to you all. The only political party, I said it to one of my groups this morning, the only political party, take this to any bank, the only political party in the state of Grenada to beat the New National Party is the New National Party. The NDC did not beat the New National Party at the last election. You know who beat the NNP? The NNP. Because we didn't do our work properly. You had some canvas lists, Papayo. I don't know what name to call them, but they were not done properly. So the canvas list was not proper. We took a lot of things for granted. So we took a lot of people for granted. We believe that person does normally vote NNP and come with us. We didn't see them come a rally, but they're supporting us still. We saw a lot of people didn't speak to the children. They allowed the young ones to just do as they want. They didn't speak to the young ones and explain to them the importance of having competent leadership, because right now we're suffering from incompetent leadership. They didn't explain what the importance of having competent leadership is. So a lot of the young people get taken by the hype. We have a pretty prime minister, get taken by the hype, and they run behind the hype, and they ended up in problems now. So it wasn't the NDC that beat NNP the last time. We beat ourselves. And the only way for the New National Party to be beaten in any general election is for the NNP to beat the NNP. A organized, disciplined, united New National Party is unbeatable. And when we beaten them 15-0 when we like that. Once we are properly organized, NNP will not lose a single seat. I am talking about St. David's seat and thing. All you understand why the Prime Minister walking around, because he know he's in danger. He's not walking around because he thinks he needs to walk around. He just feels to walk around. He's walking around because the information that came back to him through the polls that they have been doing is that he's in danger, even without the NNP having officially named the candidate. Well, you realize what I say it, without the NNP having an officially named candidate. The Prime Minister realized that he's in danger. So don't come to tell me that, oh, he go win his seat, or this one in the South go win this seat, and that sort of thing. All of them are in danger of losing their seats. They know that. That is why they're rushing to try and do this and do that now and promising everybody a house. Meanwhile, and let me see if I could pull this one up because I don't want to run out of time tonight. And I will be going a little 5 minutes past the time, but I just want to make sure that I get this particular one. Where is it? Yeah, I want to get this particular one dealt with because it's a situation that I believe it's absolutely disgusting. And it needs to be addressed. Yeah? This is the situation. Where is it now? Yeah. Oh, here it is. This is the situation of an elderly couple in Petit Martinique right now. This is what they're living in. They're living in that kind of tent right now. The gentleman who is residing inside that tent there, and you can imagine what's going on for heat inside this kind of tent that they put on the remains of the structures of where his house was. The gentleman, you know, when you go down in age and you reach to your later down in years, sometimes the mental faculties don't operate in the way that they operate. This individual is past their 80s already, going for their 90s now. That's one, and it's a husband and wife that are staying in that. Yeah? They're making sure they go and build house for people who never had before. But this elderly couple, in their twilight years, to make them at least comfortable, they're not making any move. You expect an 81-year-old individual and his wife who is of similar age, you expect them to be able to go and build back their place right now? This individual was awarded by Her Majesty the Queen, who is staying in that. Was awarded by Her Majesty the Queen. I think they have an OBE or something. And that is the situation that they are living in Petit Martinique right now. Meanwhile, they find it necessary to go and build place. We didn't say that youth don't deserve place, you know. But you can't have young people who have no children, anything, could stay by the parents for a couple months still and prioritize giving somebody who has never had a place. No children, nothing, but you're giving them a place. You're prioritizing them over some people in the 80s. One of them has the various challenges, and you're not focusing on getting it done for them. That is unfair. It is unfair. Call it what it is. It is unfair. You should not be doing that sort of thing to the elderly. Yeah? It is unfair to them. Right? So again, I mentioned the constituency office. I mentioned the fact that you all need, not the constituency office, but the parliamentary electoral office. Folks, by the time we come on Monday, I would like you all to have reached out to me, either to WhatsApp me on the studio WhatsApp. Those of you that have my personal number, let me know. Is the parliamentary electoral office, not the office where the MP does be in, is the parliamentary electoral office where people go and register in your constituency. Is it operating? Is it open? And if it is not operating, let us know why. Well, only just let me know if it's operating or not, and we'll call and find out why. Because I believe in my heart of hearts that the election is close, and we have a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it. Remember what I said a while ago. The only party to beat the new national party in Grenada is NNP. We could give another party a win. Yeah? But no party, when the NNP is organized, when the NNP base comes out and vote, when the NNP has a proper canvas done, they could have more money than us. They can't beat us. Yeah? They could have millions of dollars from who bring from Africa and who bring from Dubai and all. They could have millions of dollars. But they cannot beat the new national party once we are organized. And I'm glad to see some people coming in now. They say they went to meeting and so on. Glad to see that. Yeah? And again, folks, you still have some time. You can call 7377, but you must call on the WhatsApp. You can't call me direct. You must call on the WhatsApp for us to have that discussion. But we have to open our eyes. We can't let these people and them believe that they're beating us. It's we beating we. Yeah? When some of us who can, not taking the opportunity to call different, and I'm speaking about this program, call different programs and clarify things. There's talking points. We speak about these things, yeah, you know the truth there, but you have people that go on other programs and try to spread things. I listened to some people this morning in relation to the Prime Minister. I know the issue was raised by Devon Romain sometime this week, I believe, or last week, about the Prime Minister's residence and the amount that's being paid on a monthly basis to the Prime Minister. And to see some people who jump up trying to defend that, the same people who would attack me are the same people that are trying to defend that. Yeah? You have a Prime Minister's residence, a functional Prime Minister's residence. You take the taxpayers' money and rent another place because you find that's not up to standard. That is one thing. If you did that, yeah, if you did that, and then you say, hey, Mr. Handsome, well, happy birthday, brother. Your birthday's tomorrow, 32 years old. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Handsome. Right. Now, my whole problem with the issue is simply this. There is no plan. Again, this government is all about window dressing. So the Prime Minister wants to be on a hilltop overlooking everybody with swimming pool and all them kind of thing. Nice, fancy place. No problem with that. But here, where the problem is, you cannot indefinitely be just going and taking taxpayer dollars and paying for the place indefinitely without a plan to end it at some point. There must be a plan that says we are going to break down what exists in Mount Royal, we are going to redevelop that property, and we are going to place a new state-of-the-art Prime Minister's residence there. It's going to cost the Grenadian taxpayer $40 million. It's going to cost the Grenadian taxpayer $20 million. But we're going to break down what's there, and we are going to create a new governor. Well, not forget the governor. I ain't even bothering with that one. Because people who talk about that just looking for something, they're just throwing red herrings into the discussion when they talk about the Governor General's residence, and I'll come to that. But at least have a strategy that says, we find that the present Prime Minister's residence doesn't have a swimming pool. We want to put in a big swimming pool. We want to put in a tennis court and a basketball court. And we want to make it 2 times as big. We want to put in an upper level, and we want to put in a bunker, a basement. We want to put in a bigger parking lot. We want to put in our gardens, all this thing. Whatever it is, come to the Grenadian people and say, hey, this is what we want to do. So we've moved out of the facility for this period of time so that over a 3-year, 4-year, or 5-year period, we are going to develop that property into something new. Instead of that, it's just like, I better than all you and I too good for that. Me ain't going and stay there. I go in here and stay and I go, don't worry, we will pay. So the taxpayers are paying, from what I'm hearing, for the facility. And still spend how much money on entertainment and so on top of that. I don't know, maybe there's a pool party up there. I don't know how much million they spend on entertainment and them kind of thing. So maybe they're having pool party with their friends. I don't know. But at the same time, you have a government facility, and when it comes to the Governor General, anybody with common sense, anybody, so we don't expect them to, we go accuse them of having that. But anybody with common sense understands. Listen, the Governor General, who I believe we need to get rid of this Governor General thing, that's my personal belief. But the Governor General represents His Majesty King Charles. Yeah? For who believe that he's king, wherever, but King Charles. As such, you expect Grenadian taxpayers, we should take we money and build a building for his representative in Grenada? After Hurricane Ivan, these people talking about after Hurricane Ivan, you had over 80-something% of the houses in Grenada either destroyed or seriously damaged. Hardly a house. I was in St. David in a particular place. Only about 2 houses come through with minor damage. Everything else was leveled in the area that I was in St. David during Hurricane Ivan. And you telling me that Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell and the then NNP government should have taken the money of the taxpayers of Grenada and built back a residence for the Governor General. In fact, the Governor General's residence, just a little while before Hurricane Ivan, had been refurbished. I know I used to be up and around there all the time. It had just been refurbished. And then Hurricane Ivan came and destroyed it. So we should have taken, instead of looking to build back the houses for the people of Grenada, instead of trying to fix back the schools, instead of trying to fix back the hospitals and the health centers, instead of trying to rebuild our country, we should have taken a couple $1 million and built a place for, then at that point in time was Queen Elizabeth. Even now, with houses to build in Carriacou for people who have had their houses and the northern part of the island, and Petit Martinique, who have had their places destroyed due to the effects of the hurricane, you expect us at this point in time to take money and go and build a place for King Charles? King Charles is one of the most wealthy people on the planet. If he is to continue having a representative in the state of Grenada, he ought to dig in his pocket and build the place back for them. Other than that, I say to Grenadians, time to get rid of having a Governor General. One or the other. Yeah? Because things are not going to improve. We spoke about what is going to be taking place with the pharmacy. All you better get to know some Rastaman who no bush. Seriously. All you better get to know some Rastaman who no bush. Because a lot of people will be going back to that. Yeah? We know what is happening, what is coming. We've seen it. We know. Those of us with the experience, those of us with the foresight, we see what is coming and we're saying, prepare thyself. Because it is coming. You can't avoid it. It's coming. When the multi-trillion-dollar companies like Apple and things do things like they did over the last few days, and they're trying all these things to protect themselves, the little people who ain't even a coin here, much as a trillion here, we have to protect ourselves too. So we cannot continue with the exorbitant spending like what this administration is doing on non-essentials without a plan. If they were renting a place for the Prime Minister with a plan that says, this is what we're going to do, we are going to develop a new, I think Trinidad has a diplomatic center, that we are going to develop a place that the Prime Minister lives and he could have other functions and so on there. That's one thing. But if it is going to be a situation that you just don't care what people say, he nice and we're giving him a nice place, that's a dunce way of thinking. I'm sorry to use the word, but well, I ain't sorry. Sorry, I lie. I ain't done. I ain't sorry. It's a dunce way of thinking. So anybody that tries to defend that, that is exactly what they are. Because anyone with sense would understand. When it comes to the Governor General residence, Grenadians should never dip in the pocket and rebuild it. Never. Never. While they are the head of state, they represent a foreign monarch. And as for the Prime Minister, unless there is a plan for a new facility for the Prime Minister of Grenada, either located in the same place or located in another place, maybe you might want to say the money being spent on the Governor General, locate her now in the Prime Minister's residence and develop another location that government has access to for the home of the Prime Minister. You might want to do that. But you can't just continue doing what you're doing and think that is smart. It's nonsense. You have people coming out to try and defend that. Totishness. Yeah? Totishness. So once again, folks, oh boy, I think I missed a call. I'm sorry to whoever it is call you or call back. Yeah. That's absolute nonsense. Yeah, you have the River Road project. All of this nonsense. You have the River Road project. You know what happened in River Road. People's life were endangered. You know what happened in River Road. And you're still not taking the opportunity to go and try and fix that now? Something has to be mentally wrong with all you. We have a caller.
Hey, bro.
Hey, good evening. How are you? Well, it's after 9, so good night.
Good night. I'll tell you good morning. Hey,
Hello?
yep.
You seem to be a problem with your connection. I didn't hear what you said, anything you said so far, so start over.
Did you get the hangout of the super chat yet?
No, the super chat is on, but nobody is donating via the super chat. Nobody's donating at all.
I did last night.
I didn't see the message that you donated.
Yeah, I did last night. I got the hang of it.
Oh, okay. Because most people see it, but they just don't bother with it. And most people see the Go to Fed thing and they don't bother to donate. There are one or two people that may do so when they can. They don't allow me to call their names. So I either call their name every time they donate and say, look, they've donated. And so, but generally people don't donate.
But with the super chat, it comes up with your name and everything and the amount and everything.
Yeah, it is supposed to, but I didn't see that last night. So we thank you if you have donated, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, I just want to know you get more people to get involved, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it helps because, for instance, there are one or two bits that I have to grab so that I could complete Studio 2 that I'm supposed to get over the weekend. So every little cent counts and helps towards that.
Yep. And the next thing I want to remind us that the NDC is afraid of Dr. Mitchell's shadow. So that's why they keep shouting him out in his sleep.
Well, you're correct, yeah, and that was a point I had to make earlier and I didn't make. The reason that they keep calling his name is because they're afraid of him.
They're afraid of him. Yep, but here.
You know,
what he was.
You remember when you're a little boy and you're a little boy, but you have a bully in the school, and the bully approach you, and you give him a coward blow and knock him out?
Hey,
that is what's going on with NDC right now. You know, they're trying to throw political coward blow at Dr. Mitchell because they afraid him. Not that he's a bully, but they afraid his ability.
That's what it is. They're afraid of him because they doesn't have a counteract for him, you see. They can't counteract. I could draw a reference to you tonight, you know, but you won't like it.
Nah, leave that alone, man.
Like
Leave it alone.
I wouldn't like it. So the same treatment. But that's how they operate.
All right, yeah.
So have a great one and a great weekend.
All right, my friend. Thank you so very much.
Okay, one love.
All right, wonderful. Yeah, I feel so good that I could get my calls. And so one little set of stuff we had to get again, and we'll be able to take the direct calls. Yeah, like if we're in Studio 1, we could take the direct calls, one or two things, and we could get the audio to sound exactly like if we're in Studio 1 as well. So those of you that can, give Elka something. Oh, Elka, see somebody donate now. Yeah, so thank you, my friend. All right, yeah, so folks, it is important for us to continue to mind our business. And I say I'm going a little over 5 minutes over the time because I have to give you all back your time that I took night before. Yeah? So it is important for us to mind our business. Somebody just messaged me. They said that the electoral office in St. John is in operation. So we need to hear that for all. You have to pay attention that the registration offices are open. You have to pay attention that your people are getting registered, because if you're sitting there and wondering who is on these new people on the voters list, Houston, we have a problem, because it means it's not you that register them. So some of them might be people that went on their own and registered, but the vast majority may be people at the other side are registering. So the new voters list will soon be out. We need to ensure that we comb that voters list properly to see who are these people and to see if some of these people are legally entitled to vote in the constituency where they are registered. Because here's what's happening. Remember, I told you, there are people who were born and grew in St. Patrick, leave Grenada, they're out 20, 30, 40 years, come back to Grenada, and they didn't go to register in St. Patrick, you know. One, they didn't stay in Grenada for 12 months. Two, they just go and register in a town constituency. They go in another constituency because they like the MP that there, or they're trying to buffer the vote inside there to try and keep in or put in a person who didn't win. So we have to be careful with that. We have to pay attention to what is going on. Don't just look at the list for all of the names that we think these people and them, oh, we know who them is. Or we're looking for the names that this name look funny. All the names. Even in last week Gazette, I see people changing the name. A couple weeks ago, I see people changing the name. It must be published in the Gazette and so on. What if they change the name outside of the country? So they may be from, let's say they're from Poland, or they're from Namibia, and they've changed their name to a normal sounding English name. like Peter John, and they've come to register as Peter John. And we think Peter John, oh, that's one of them John and them from down in the whole day. And next thing is a person who is not even a Grenadian, does not meet the qualifying criteria to register as a voter, and we have them down as a voter. Folks, we have to mind with business. They minding with business, and if we only studying to attack the NDC, it's one thing to attack the NDC, you know. I could attack the NDC every single night I come here. I could take the time and cost them out every single night I come here. But it's important for us to be organized as well and do what is necessary so that if the election is called next month, because believe me, the Prime Minister could go by the Governor General tonight, and in the middle of the night we could just see a release come out that Parliament is dissolved, elections in 21 days. You all know that, right? Yeah, the Prime Minister could get up now, he says, Sheldon talking too much, let me just go and do the thing, eh? And he goes, and in 21 working days, that excludes weekends and public holidays, in 21 days, you can have a general election. So that's why we need to mind our business and mind it now. That is why we need to make sure that we are organized now. And those of you that have not yet taken the opportunity to become part of the team, those of you who have not yet taken opportunity to join your constituency branch, even if you are a civil servant, you're working as a teacher or a nurse or whatever it is, a police officer, join your constituency branch quietly. You don't have to be up and down around in the constituency office and so, but there's work for you to do too. Yeah? Because we cannot allow the situation that exists now to continue for another 5 years on top of what you just go through. And this time, with the economic situation that's heading towards Grenada and the Caribbean region and the world, to have to go through that with an incompetent government in power? Come on, man. Really and truly, we can't continue that direction. We need to do our work, and we need to do it soon. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. And as usual, in everything you say and do, we want you to do it safe and secure, because we want to be speaking to you. We want to be speaking with you, and we don't want to be speaking about you, because we love each and every one of you unconditionally. I want you all to have a safe and enjoyable weekend. I want you all to be extremely careful on our nation's roads. We don't know the state already. So be very careful on our nation's roads, because you ain't too short to get the medication there. Those of you who are involving yourself in adult activities, pad up like if you're going and face a Vex Kirtley Ambrose and you in the English side. Yeah? I think all you should understand what I'm talking about. If you're going and involve yourself in adult activities, pad up like if you are a batsman facing a Vex Kirtley Ambrose and you are part of the English side, that's a, or the Aussie side, or wherever side, that's a, take off your Rastafarian handband. Yeah? Pad up and protect yourself. Because we see what is happening, and for everyone there, there's probably about 10, 20 that are not recorded. So again, folks, that's all the time we have. I am out. We'll be back on Monday, God's willing, with more talking points. Just before I leave, I don't want to leave without at least doing these two. I'm sorry, Ollie, hold on. Don't hang up yet, Ollie. I must do this quick. Remember, this Sunday, yeah, it's taking place this Sunday. That's the Carriacou and Petit Martinique brunch. The brunch for the Carriacou and Petit Martinique branch of the New National Party in New York. They are having the brunch. It's taking place this Sunday. Yeah, in a couple of days' time. This Sunday, 302 East 91st Street between Lennox and Clarkson. Go and get your Soraka food. Only $30 starting from 1 p.m. They have music by DJ Gemini songs and thing. You get nice Soraka food and them kind of thing. Remember, Sunday the 27th, the main group, yeah, that includes the Carriacou and Petit Martinique group, they are having their brunch as well. Same location. They start at 10 a.m. So, yeah, you check out that one as well, right? Remember, the eye clinic is coming up on the 14th and the 15th in Guelph Polyclinic. So, yeah, make sure all your thing, right? The 14th and 15th at Guelph Polyclinic, 16th and 17th Youth Center. Just want to remind you all. Oh, for those of you, remember the vacancy is still there. Yeah, 403-4421. They're looking for a nail technician. They're looking for somebody that does do natural hair, cornrows and locks, plaiting, them kind of thing, a braider. All right? So it's a well-established beauty shop in the town of St. George. So you have to take a bus and go to town and then to go to somewhere else. You take a bus, you drop in town, and it is within a 3-minute walk in town itself. And you have the opportunity there. You see, that lady look nice. Yeah, man, I like natural style and thing too. And then don't forget little Kelani, sorry. Yeah, young Kelani. These are the account numbers of her parents. All right, I'm going to post it to the Talking Points page because I know some of you don't want to have to go and rewind to look for it. I'm going to post this to the Talking Points page. Little Kelani needs your help. She's also a cancer patient. She has to return in about 2 months' time. She has to return to the US for further treatment. So come on, folks. We're not letting our children go down like that. We have children, and if we do have children, our brothers or sisters or family have children and so on. Some of us have children and grandchildren and nieces and nephews and so on. We have to help the children when we can. So this is the Co-op Bank account and the Nexa Credit Union account in the names of her parents that you can donate if you're going to Co-op Bank tomorrow. I'm going to post it as soon as I'm done here to the Facebook page so you can go there and you could make your little donation. She's a little cutie, yeah? Yeah, what little cutie that there. Pretty child. Right, yeah. So make sure, if you can, donate there. And of course, Talking Points. We always need our donations as well when you can, because we always have to try and help people when we can and fix what we have to fix in Studio 2 as we can. So folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points today. I am out of here. Let me play this one as we head out.
It's party time, let's go! Yes, you left, you on the light. Now you're back to enjoy the rest of the night. And it is such a good sight. You've waited and waited for so long for this day to come. Now that we together, we can party on forever. It's amazing. Life is worth living. I guess I know how you feel. All the fun you won't miss it. Ladies, let's start this party and come let we dance. Get on, take over the floor. No, no, you can't go. We need some more. More of your thrilling. We need some more. More of your dancing. Give me some more. Oh, yeah. Give it up, Party can't stop. No, 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 no. Party time. Oh, yeah. You're the life of the party now, and you've got everybody on the feet. And so you can't switch, but it's over an hour, and I know that you want to recover. Yes, you can take a break, but when it's over, just remember I'll be waiting to start the party. The night is full of excitement. Let's all enjoy the moment, lady. Light up the party. Come let me dance. Get on. Take over the floor. No, no, they can't go. We need some more. More of your thrilling. We need some more. More of your dancing. We need some more. More of that sweet, sweet mood. Long time I've not had such fun all night. You are the reason the party is tight. So much of passion, filled with attraction. The party is hot and no one wants to stop. Come let me dance. Get on. Take over the floor. No, no, they can't go. We need some